Hello, welcome back to another YouTube video. I am Peggy. I'm a storyboard artist, character designer, and comic artist. But for today's video, a couple weeks ago, I announced that I was going to make a pitch video on my storyboards that I've been working on for the past 2 to 3 months, and I have not actually posted it yet, but today's the day. So, yeah, I hope you guys actually enjoy it, and disclaimer, these are rough boards, so they're not going to be like the type of boards you see from like Rise of the TMNT or like stuff from the Owl House. These are my boards, and I just wanted to communicate the initial idea. And towards the end of this video, I did explain where the direction I am going in. So, yeah. See you guys in the next clip, and enjoy the pitch. Before anyone is like, why aren't your boards a little more cleaner or anything like that? It's because I really wanted to get the initial idea down first before continuing on with revisions. So this is just a general gist of the storyboards and the story overall, and at the end of this video I will explain that the story has changed a little bit. So let's get on to it. Exterior shot of Wicca Academy. Click, 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 click. Shot of the classroom. We pull into our main character, Amora. She's scribbling. And she's very impressed with herself. And she's like, fidgeting with her little charm on her shirt. And zoom in, and it says, believe in yourself. And she kind of calms down. Professor walks in, and the whole class is still like talking. Everyone sits up straight, but our character Amora, and they look at her. Professor walks up, slap on the desk, the like test papers, and it slides towards her. And Amora looks up, and she's like, and she pets the test, and the professor's like, ugh, and walks away. And she reaches for her mirror, and pulls it in the direction of herself, and clutches onto her charm, and smiles. The professor walks towards the front of the class, waving her little wand. Ding, 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 ding. The classroom changes into a more potions scientific room. Hovering as the potions and the equipment that's is used for the test, and she levels it down towards the desk. Mora's like, huh? And it's like, oh wait. She bends over, pulls out her notebook, water going into the potions. Skull levitates. Falls into the potion bottle, and Mora's like, huh? And she scribbles it down really quickly, and writes, I can do this. And she's kind of confident, and then slowly reveals that she's like hesitant about everything. The little cute creatures come about and like looks at her, and she's like, oh, and then she snaps back into reality. And it's like, huh? The test has started. She dips off, leaves her notebook at the desk, and runs off. Squeezes in and grabs her equipment. Boop, 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 and walks back towards the desk. While walking, she trips. Poof. Notebook ruined. And she's like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Haha, I'm such a klutz, whatever. And her desk is like, and walks away. And she's like, bye-bye. A little bit disheartened, and then she turns back, and time is flew. And she's like, oh, her arm's shaky when her vision blurs, and she reaches for her notebook, but it slowly falls to the ground. She's sweating, and she's like looking at her hands to calm herself. And then deskmate returns to her chair, totally ignoring the condition that Amora's in. And Amora shifts her way up and pulls herself up to get to finish her test. She reaches for her notebook, all wet, and she's like, slams it down, continues on, opens up a little water bag, grabs for the potion, and pours the water in. And like, she's sweating, watching the time go down. Boop. She's like, and then she continues on with her, grabbing her little wand. Reaches, time flew. She's like, it starts bubbling, and all her classmates, potions blow. She's like, and then she looks back at her stuff and looking at it, and then she looks back at her mirror and just depletes. Time is running out. Rainbow. And she's like, her face is falling again, and then everyone scribbles down their test scores, and the average go 245. Everyone looks at Amora, and then shoves her out of the way. She's like, ow. The professor looks back at her, shakes her head, and leaves. Amora ripping off her charm and crying. And she just slowly loses all. No, she just gives up. Drops her charm, falls to her knees, and just soaks over. And yeah, that's how it ends. That's the general idea that I had. It's just that it didn't work out, even though how hard she tries. And yeah, that's the boards that I've kind of been working on for like the past 2-3 months, and for a while just waiting on the notes, and I have received them. So now we're gonna switch over to the notes I have gotten. Okay, so I did the pitch, and of course I stumbled over my words and whatever, because I'm like not good at talking. It's like looking at the same time, not my strong suit. But here we are. I will show you or tell you the notes that I've received. I got notes from 2 people, both who have worked in the industry and still is pretty active. So yeah, here's one of them. So one of the notes is alternate legs to create a walk A and B cycle. So when the opening shot is on not the opening shot, the shot of the character walking, they wanted an A-B cycle so we can see them going like this. So it's much more clear. And then they also noted that the lockers in the foreground character moves, but the grid lines don't. So when I created the grid line, it didn't move in perspective, so I have to like go back and fix that. So they said that's a little bit confusing. And then they said there's a continuity error. If the character's right arm pulls up the sticker, the reverse point of view means that the hand should be flipped. And they said unless 21 is not a point of view shot, but just a tighter shot of 20, and it's hard to tell. I have to figure out which shot that is for the sticker, but essentially I'm guessing that it's probably... Okay, it's the zoom in into her little charm that he's confusing it with like her hand, but like I looked back, that is the actual correct hand that she is using. So I don't know. That part gets cut anyway, so and then the last note was like light gray thumbnails lines underneath the dark black lines make the information a bit muddled. So that means when I had the like thumbnail underneath the drawing of the like fully finished or like refined sketch, it was like too much information on the screen, so it was like making things hard to read. While they gave me those notes, they also wrote really nice compliments, and they said, I like your little squash and stretch moments to heighten the energy, and it gives it tonal bounce. The story is fun, and I felt for a character in the end, especially given all her efforts. The pink wash behind her really helped separate her and keep the layers clean. Those were the best of the boards. This is was a great excerpt, and hopefully you continue to clean it up. And essentially, yeah, that made me really happy to like kind of hear that they felt for the character despite all the efforts, because that's what I kind of wanted to go for. And yeah, I'm glad it worked out in that regard. Now, on to the next set of notes. I did another review with another mentor of mine, and they essentially gave me thumbnails and ways to shorten my story and still like communicate the same points. And I put up the thumbnails that they drew together, but essentially when I was reviewing it, I could like understand what they were saying to me, and I definitely agree with all the notes that they've given. And yeah, so one of them was like push the environment to reflect the world's characteristics, meaning that if everyone around Amora is like essentially kind of evil and like mean, the world should kind of reflect that, so that she looks like an outcast because she's a good witch. It hinting at the name Good Witch Flunk, because her powers are good. The other notes was push the character actions and make the stakes to be really, really dramatic. Because essentially the genre I'm going for is aimed for kids, and the stakes it needs to be really dramatic. Like kids react over the top, so it needs to kind of reflect that. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And so in that point, it says reaction of the audience is the character sad, push to facial expressions and body language, floppy, big eyes, wailing, just like super dramatic, like, if they're like that. And then frame my compositions with interactable items. My mentor used the potion bottles to like kind of frame the composition in her face, so it's like distorted, kind of like how her emotions are like wobbly. It's shaky, so it works. And my own note was like the Owl House pilot has interesting environmental acting, so I need to like kind of go back and study that. And then one of the biggest notes I've gotten from them was don't use text to convey visual information. And essentially, if in my boards I use just a regular timer. However, my mentor was like, hey, you could just use like the sand timer. I don't know what that's actually called, but that to communicate time is going out, so it's communicated in a much more visually appealing way. Why was that hard for me to say? And yeah, so it was just like changing some stuff to be a little bit more visual, because it's storyboards and animation is a visual medium, and there's so many ways to like translate items to be like iconic, or like iconographic, is that the word? Yeah. So I have to like definitely like look into that, you know. But essentially, that is the notes I've gotten, and that's all I have to say really right now. I was going to show everyone the like outline and like the progression of the storyboard, but it may make my video a bit longer. But if you're interested in that, just let me know. But I can also just show you like little snippets of like how the story is transformed, but we'll worry about that later. Essentially, after getting those notes, I've kind of wanted to push the story to be kind of like not every witch is a bad witch, which is but like at the end of the day, she still fails. So we see her interact in my boards with her table mate. I decided, it was like, hey, maybe I could push this like interaction a little bit more, because it's like they're sitting next to you, so we gotta like, I want some type of relationship, so it's just not like everyone's mean. So like I want to go in, but I'm thinking about it. It may make my story a little bit longer, but I think it's a little bit more interesting to see that there's like, you could still like fit into the society norms, yet still care for each other. So that's what I have so far. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. Please actually take a look at my blog, Pixie Doodles. I do post more regularly over there. Every 15th and 30th, I kind of like show what I'm working on. So a few of my blogs have Good Witch Flunk information towards the end of the blog, so you will be able to understand my thought process and get a little bit of behind the scenes of like my creative process, because I do not upload frequently on YouTube, and I'm working on that. So yeah, anyways, this is the end of the video. I'll see you later. Bye!